Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Gabby, I'm a reporter for Banking Dive. Today I'm here with Carl Slabicki, Executive Platform Owner for Treasury Services at BNY. Thank you so much for joining us
Thanks
today.
for having me, appreciate it.
Happy to see you. So, real-time payments, they've become table stakes in the US, but cross-border is pretty fragmented still. What innovations or partnerships do you see as key to achieving truly seamless global treasury flow?
This has been the discussion in the industry for, I think, quite some time around there's really great domestic capabilities in different pockets of the globe, but we haven't really been able to bridge them together on a global scale yet. For BNY, just for size and scale, so we actually process over 120 currencies all over the globe for our clients. It's about 2,000 banks that we process payments for, supporting their businesses for global trade, their consumers for retail remittances, and we do on average about 2.4 trillion US dollars a day of global money movement, closer to about 4.5 trillion on a peak day. So we see quite a lot of activity that goes across the globe in and out of different corridors, and what we've kind of seen is the following. About 100 different markets have some version of instant near real-time systems, but only a few of them have actually opened up their ability to actually accept cross-border payment in or out of those capabilities. So what we've been trying to do with BNY, where we do direct clearing in certain corridors, we leverage our extensive network of banks in over all these different regions that we clear into, we're able to actually work with providers that have access to the instant rails, using our existing relationships where we can actually facilitate instant 24/7 cross-border payments for them, and we can really stitch that world together for them, right? It's a little bit of a mix in the market right now where you have high value, low value, instant systems, you have different things on tokenized assets and stable coins, right? And a lot in the hype around the news promising the value of instant payments. BNY really has a footprint and scale to really tie that together for our clients, and we're helping 2,000 banks across the globe move money in and out of 120 plus currencies every day, using a lot of instant rails in some of those major corridors.
How much more complicated does it make it that different instant rails exist in different markets?
It's extremely complicated. If you look at what we've done over the banking industry over the last several decades, we have kind of traditional high value rails where we can move money, USD, Euro, GBP, et cetera, on them, but they're only operating during traditional business hours in the local market, right? Maybe Sunday night through Friday, going down each night. We are starting to see advances even those rails though. The Federal Reserve just announced that they actually intend to expand the operating hours of FedWire and their NSS service, which will actually open up high value USD global flows on a more continuous basis, optimally probably up to 6 days a week once they go into that realm. You also see the instant rails really now starting to gear up. We announced about a year ago a partnership with Commonwealth Bank of Australia, where we're now using them as our local correspondent into Australia to do instant cross-border payments for our clients into Australian beneficiaries any time of the day, any day of the year. So we're now replicating that model into a lot of other markets and really trying to bring a 24/7 service to life to really match the rest of the demand from both consumers and businesses for an always-on operating model, right? Payments has been one of the first financial services that we've been actually able to be able to break through that glass to really be able to kind of move to an always-on model to match the business need and demand and experience. Whereas now we need to look at the rest of the financial market and infrastructure to say, how do we match what payments can offer to really offer more liquidity and working capital tools on an always-on basis.
So as payment modernization accelerates, with RTP, FedNow in the US and the emergencies of new rails, like stablecoin for what you mentioned, how is BNY architecting its treasury platforms? Re-architecting its treasury platforms.
So you have to kind of do this from the ground up. We started this several years ago, back when RTP launched in 2017 in the US, and now that we're doing this in different markets, now that a lot of our clients are API first, they really have a need for 24/7, 365, 99.999% resiliency, uptime, and service, because we're actually powering the consumer experience and the business experience behind a lot of the financial service providers that we offer capabilities to. So us being that platform for them to manage their business, manage their customer experience, do those things with us at the back end, resiliency, capability, speed, and service is really critical to power that. So payments have been the first to break through that, and our strategy there is actually fairly simple. Add as many instant 24/7 endpoints across the globe as we can, where we direct clear or with our partnerships. As the market also moves and evaluates how banks are using tokenized deposits for better on-us money movement 24/7, different assets are starting to get tokenized across the market. We just announced a couple weeks ago that we're part of a consortium with Swift to actually see how we can maybe use interbank settlement tokens to facilitate 24/7 cross-border money movement, and how we can deliver a consistent scheme to consumers that actually want to move money cross-border with a safe, transparent, low-cost expectation from their core bank providers. So we're taking both the traditional rails of working with our correspondent partners to stitch that together. We're putting our resources and our expertise in with Swift and other players in the industry to see how we can use some of these new technologies to fill some of the gaps where we still can't do 24/7 or where there's different settlement gaps within the market. But I think it's really critical that if payments have really kind of broken through that glass, now we have to look at the rest of the working capital cycle. So our clients are now saying, how can you help me invest on Saturdays and Sundays and holidays? How can you help me lend? How can you help me offer different types of tokenized deposits and assets to our customers in the market that are not just cash and money and payment movement, but truly an investment cycle, a working capital cycle, people that are managing global treasury for multinational corporates. Bringing that all together is really where we can take the traditional services through resilient, always-on infrastructure and the great new technologies of either private or public blockchain, tokenized assets. Putting them together really opens up a great value add for both business, consumer, and small business end users across the globe.
Are there certain regions or types of assets that have that there are more roadblocks into making that 24/7 a capability?
Absolutely, so if you look at it, it's not just technology, right? And part of it, when you look at this kind of the inside out, we look at first, what's the market infrastructure? Are we able to move money either at the Federal Reserve or another central bank in a different market? Is that underlying infrastructure available 24/7? If it's not, you have to be able to tokenize and do something over the top of it to fill the gap or do risk-based models to offer a service that's not fully available behind the scenes for market infrastructure. Then when you go out there and you say, okay, clients have an API, it's accessible, it can do KYC, it can do money movement, it can provide a great digital experience, and that's great for things that are straight through, but as we all know, in different parts of the financial servicing ecosystem, not everything is straight through. Sometimes there needs to be a manual review, a service agent, someone needs to support the client at the end of that process. And what we're seeing now is as more of the financial services industry goes into 24/7, an always-on manual staffing model is not realistic and it's not scalable. That's where we see the leveraging of AI really as a driver to help us offer really more creative services, power the operational resiliency, and allow us to do really cool things like supporting our clients. BNY launched in our API marketplace an AI chatbot that helps our clients work with their developers to actually access our APIs, run their test cases, and access that code. We've built over 100 digital employees within BNY that are doing manual repetitive tasks and helping individuals research payments, support client service inquiries, do manual payment repairs. AI and the power of that, both from digital employees and agents, we're really just starting to scratch the surface on how that's going to enable a 24/7 economy and have that mirror the operational and the servicing considerations that are required to match the technical capabilities that are now already in that market.
Are there other ways that BNY is using AI and machine learning to detect or to change the way that things are working, and then as well we talk a lot about fraud, you know?
Yeah.
How does that fit into your
Absolutely.
realm?
BNY has a really cool AI story. So 2 years ago, we launched Eliza. This is our internal BNY proprietary AI platform. So Eliza was actually the wife of our founder, Alexander Hamilton, when the bank was founded 241 years ago. So it's a BNY proprietary AI platform. We plug in multiple language learning models from the market, so we're agnostic to them. We can plug and play multiple in and out as we go. And the entire firm, not just the engineers, the entire firm, 98% of all 50,000 employees are trained on AI and using Eliza. So we truly have an AI for everyone mentality at the bank, whether it's product, operations, engineering, design, service, implementation. Everybody is using Eliza day to day, and they're all using it to create agents and digital employees to help them do what they do, whether it's internally or whether to serve our clients. So we have great examples in our operational area where we're using AI digital employees to actually service manual payment repairs and find missing pieces of country codes and different things for our clients to repair the payment, give it to an operator, and help us get better quality and speed of processing. We're using it in engineering to help us write user stories, to actually draft code for our engineers to develop faster, and to write test cases to speed up the entire delivery chain from an engineering perspective. And then, as I mentioned, we're using it for servicing agents internally to help our client service team. We're using it in our API marketplace to help our clients interact with us and navigate our code and our specs and run test cases. So truly, from the operational to the engineering output to the client-facing experience, up and down the chain, we've really adopted AI, and we're already seeing the benefits from an efficiency perspective, speed to market, and we're really just starting to scratch the surface on, I think, what it can do over the next several years.
Sounds like you guys have really leaned into it.
Absolutely. Once you see what it can help you do day to day, solve the pain points, solve the problems, there's no turning back. I mean, we're using it to translate massive amounts of documentation in trade finance into automated form filling. We're using it to do data translation for our clients when they're stuck in legacy formats that they can't converge to the new ISO standards, and we're using it as a tool to assist them into that future. So, I think we do things like hackathons internally at BNY, where we just try to generate ideas on what are the biggest challenges and pain points in our business, how can we use AI, agentic AI in many cases, to actually solve problems and have those AI agents work together between the other AI agents across the firm and individuals. And it's become this really organic model that the entire firm has embraced.
Well, thanks so much, Carl, for sharing what's going on at BNY, and I hope to see you during the rest of the show, and it was a great conversation.
Great. Thank you.